Is bouncer brutality a thing? Yes. Police brutality is no foreign topic in the news and something that people of color deal with on a heightened level. While a lot of cities and towns in the countries are working towards making a change in the right direction, there are other forms of physical brutality that need to be addressed, and that's bouncer brutality. Let's take a pause for a second. Before we jump in, we want to say thank you for all the new followers that just discovered the 3 Oak Podcast page.
Cock on my depression, grab my Smith & Wesson, call out my new baddie,
Velvet Rope Racism reached more than 30,000 views, 3,000 shares, and over 500 comments. One of my favorite comments was received by Milk Bar patron DeBlue. He had some pretty great questions that he wanted answered. At the 3 Oak Podcast, hey man, was just wondering, would you prefer the dress code to be more lenient with less rules or just enforced on everyone? If more lenient, what would you believe to be removed from the list? And if just fairly enforced, is this the solution to the problem? I do want to make sure that I highlight how much I appreciate him asking, is that the solution to the problem? Because without questions being asked, how can we really make change? I didn't respond right away because I needed to think, and I'm not into typing multiple paragraphs to get my point across. Well, it didn't seem like DeBlue liked that very much. Hey, at 3 Oak Podcast, no response? Or do you just want to start a fire with no intention of putting it out, letting everything burn in sight? And to answer your question, brother, yes. Sometimes I do enjoy just watching burn. Sometimes it's fun. But in all honesty, the answer to your question has several parts, and I'll be discussing those in this video. Outside of a dress code, worrying about my safety inside of these very establishments is also a concern. Although bouncers and security are at these locations to keep the peace, have you ever seen a bouncer lose their control and attack people with and without reason?
Top flight security of the world, Craig.
I know I have, and I actually have a story that I would like to tell you all. All right, so boom, we back in 2009 at this racist-ass club called Food Bar, if any of you remember it. The night's going great, yo. We sweating like a motherfucker, turning up to 50 Cent in the club. If the protest is the first time you seen racial unity, you were not in the club that night. At one point, I'm on the wall dancing, and I got a girl twerking going crazy. Then a white boy comes up on my left side of me while his girl's twerking on him. And this bouncer comes up to me and is like, yo, you can't even dance like that, bro. You got to go. So I like look up and down the line. I'm like, bro, are we all about to go? Nah, just you. Yank! Got me up out of there. He's choking me, yo. I'm almost blacking out. He's literally dragging me through the club right now. Right before I'm about to black out, one of my homeboys that I was with jumps over the VIP booth, kicks the bouncer in the head. I mean, this came in like he was Superman, yo. Jump up and we get to scrapping. Mind you, it's not too much scrapping going on. We ended up getting our asses beat, but it happened right in front of the police, and guess what? The police didn't stop the goddamn thing. It was easily 7 verse 2. 11 years later, one dislocated shoulder later, and these type of beatings are still going down on a regular basis by bouncers all through the city. Now, being young and naive, we just chalk this up to a racist experience and went about our lives. But when I really sit back and think about it, what are bouncers legally allowed to do when dealing with people they throw out of clubs? Let's go over to attorney John H. Reese's website to see. A bouncer has no more authority than any citizen. Although bouncer falls under the subcategory of security guards, most of the bouncers do not have a private protective service license. Sometimes a situation will arise when a bouncer may use excessive force against a patron. For example, if you attack a bouncer and multiple other bouncers decide to join in a fight against you at an uneven level, or they put you in a chokehold, wrist lock, you may have a legitimate claim. Another example is if you are verbally harassing a bouncer and he punches or kicks you. In addition, bouncers are not allowed to physically remove you from the establishment. This is important. Bouncers do not have any right to get physical with you unless it is in self-defense, to break up a fight, or to protect patrons. Now, based off this attorney's website, I stood a pretty good chance at winning a criminal and civil case if I was smart enough to sue when I was younger, but my time has long passed. But what about the gentleman in this video I'm about to show you now?
When they're still choking people. When they're still choking people and people don't got no fucking consciousness.
Phone away. Put your fucking phone
Look at my
away.
face.
Put your fucking phone away.
Put it away. Why? 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 Because they're choking.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's got a little George Floydish feel to that video. First of all, this is a pretty graphic video. That man is clearly laying on the ground, completely knocked out, and the bouncer continues to choke him while he's unconscious. He surely isn't causing a threat. Now let's zoom in and take a look at the attire that these bouncers are wearing during this altercation. Milk Bar logos are presented on their jackets, which quickly screams at their regular employees that should not be putting their hands on any patron. Now this is just one example. I'm sure there are plenty more bouncer brutalities that you have witnessed. Make sure you send me the video so I can drop it on the story and we can get some light out here. And that brings me to my final point on what needs to change in the downtown Raleigh bar and club scene. It's the music. God damn, it's so bad. In response to our last video, my DM was flooded with former and current DJs that have worked in the Raleigh club scene. Let's see what they had to say. I got a DM from a guy named DJ, and this is some of the things that him as a DJ has been told directly from the owners of clubs on Glenwood South and various other bars in Raleigh, North Carolina. Glenwood South is not the only offender of this. We're talking Fayetteville Street too. Hey man, there's too many brothers in here. Switch it up to some house music. Look, dude, the owner's name inserted. Doesn't really like the crowd that develops, so don't play more than 2 hip-hop songs in a row this weekend. Look, man, I don't have any problem with black people. I just don't want a bunch of and thugs in my club. My customers like top 40 and dance. Just keep it that way. Stop playing hip-hop music. DJs who played in Raleigh, let's not kid ourselves. Share your stories. My only regret is that I enabled this trashy bullshit for as long as I have. Owners are clearly telling their DJs not to play hip-hop music to keep black people away. Guess what? Newsflash, everybody likes hip-hop music. It's the #1 music genre in the world. I even received messages from photographers who worked at these bars and clubs and said that the owner didn't want pictures of too many black people because it would make their establishment look ghetto. As you can see, there are many things that need to change about the downtown Raleigh bar and club scene, and I want to leave you with some questions for yourself. What if you actually played the top 40? Like, for real. Without putting cringy EDM instrumentals behind it, don't you think that would increase business sales because you're actually marketing towards the masses? Also, can you really ensure my safety inside your establishment when you've got these MMA trained bouncers that clearly get a little overzealous with the position that they hold? We would love to know what's actually going to change before we even consider spending another dollar there.
And I got this new joint, let me tell you all about that. Conquer my depression, grab my Smith & Wesson, call up my new baddie, and give a good direction, like, where you at 7, she just say she ready, pull up 6:30, play a show early, I just wanna watch her, while she getting ready, shoulder strap spaghetti,